mentorship showed me that confidence isn't personality, it's proximity. And you become bolder when you're around women who normalize success. The 5 people you're around, that's who you become.
Welcome to Working Women Mentor, the podcast that delivers mentorship in every conversation. Each episode, we meet remarkable women who share the real moments, challenges, and breakthroughs that shape their journeys. These are stories that inspire, empower, and remind us of what is possible. I'm your host, Renee Alfers, and I cannot wait for you to meet today's guest. Let's jump in and uncover your next mentor moment.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Working Women Mentor. I'm your host, Renee Alfers, and today we get to spend time with the incredible Renee Fleming. I'm so excited for you to meet her. She's a dynamic and successful entrepreneur, building multimillion-dollar sales organizations, creating multiple streams of income for herself, and coaching others as a brand strategist. She is highly focused on women and helping us find what's within, become our own brand, create our own multiple streams of income, and really just show up to the life that we aren't living yet. And I know that sounds so lofty, but she breaks it down step by step and gives us the permission and the power to do it. All here in this episode. You're going to absolutely love it. So I'll see you inside. Let's go meet Renee. Here we go. Renee Fleming, thank you for joining Working Women Mentor. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am wonderful. This new year, I'm 1 year older, as we were just talking about. I am now going to get to talk with the experts in midlife and change and transition. And I'm so excited you're here. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. You kid, I'm thrilled.
Yes, Renee, please introduce yourself to our audience.
So I am multifaceted.
Good. We got lots to talk about.
I'm Renee Carbone Fleming. I'm a brand strategist. I'm an empowerment coach, and I'm the founder of the Badass Queen movement, where I help women over 40 turn their story, their experience, and their confidence into real income without shrinking or apologizing. That's pretty much my vibe.
That's your vibe. That's so much. Your story is incredible, and the testimonials and the women you've been helping. So this is just perfect for our audience. And one of the things we ask, Renee, all of our guests, is for you to text a friend and to share with us how that friend would describe you as well to our audience.
You know, I'm often described as bold, intuitive, and deeply honest. Someone who gives women permission to stop playing small and start choosing themselves.
Bold. You've got to be bold to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been bold, Renee? Is that how you would have been described as a young lady, as a kid when you were younger?
No, I definitely felt the expectation either that I put on myself or that we as women, we put on ourselves, or how other people expect us to behave. So I pretty much towed the line, okay, I was in the corporate world, and in the corporate world, I should act as XYZ. I was, as I grew up a little bit, I definitely became more bold, but not to where I am now, where it's like, watch out, world, here the frick I am.
You're like, I am the queen. I am here. I am about to help you. And I love the impact that you make through who you've become. And so you have built a business, multi-businesses, millions and millions of dollars in sales, and continue. You write books, you have programs, you coach, you have all these multiple streams of income, and it's incredible. And so take us back to that moment when you realized you were actually meant for more. You weren't going to continue being that woman in that role, underserving yourself.
Yeah, it's those moments when I realized that I was meant for more, when I noticed that I was successful on paper, but I was exhausted from carrying everyone else's expectations. And I knew that I didn't want to just survive anymore. I wanted to lead. And that was a big thing.
That's eye-opening, isn't it? I mean, because you don't get there overnight, do you? Was that a no?
Yes, no, this was an evolution. And the way this started, so people that haven't been on my website, is I started in the network marketing space and I built a multimillion-dollar sales organization with a division of Swarovski Crystal called Touchstone Crystal. And that's been over, that's now 13 years. But during the pandemic, when we really recognized, and I was getting so many women. Now, I built that business and I coached other women to build their businesses. And that has always been my passion. I never want anyone
part of
to
what
feel,
you do.
Yeah, I never want women to feel like they're behind, they're stuck. I don't know if I can swear on here. Should I?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
You be you.
Okay, perfect. So that's even better. But I always ask for permission first.
Oh my gosh.
But
That's so
I
cute.
help women. I call it build their fuck it fund, right? And never want women to feel like they're stuck at a shitty job or a shitty marriage, shitty relationship, whatever that is. So I always, I had that sense of wanting to lead people. That led to me building the Badass Queen coaching and digital products and training programs and all of that, because I was oftentimes getting asked by women who were with other companies, how did you grow a multi-million-dollar sales organization? How do you build this? How do you become duplicatable? So that led to that. And then it also led to me partnering with a global wellness and beauty company called Bella Grace Global. And I'm not a wellness coach. I am not one of those I drink Cabernet. You want to feel good?
Yeah.
That's, it's heart healthy. But I knew that as I age, I don't want to wrinkle like a prune. So I found products that work incredible gut health, the hair, skin, all the stuff. And I'm happy to share that. But that led to that. I was like, all right, well, I can build that business. But it all starts with personal branding. And I was doing personal branding before I even knew it was a thing.
What it was. Yeah.
I didn't know it. I just became the person that I knew I needed to stand out. I knew I needed to be different from everyone else that was selling basically the same products. So
do you think that when you recognize that, because I'm curious about this piece for you, because personal branding is, that's a big topic.
Yes.
And I have a feeling you can simplify this, and I have this feeling, and we'll get to that. But when you said, I knew that I had to stand out and to be different, is that a version of yourself that you already saw? Or is that something that you knew you could do, could be, you weren't quite sure if you were that yet, but that's the woman you wanted to be in that space? And I'm curious because we often don't know what our personal brand is yet. We don't know how to get out there. So when you were starting out, how'd you recognize it?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So for me, I knew that I love all of the other women that were also selling the jewelry, but what's going to make someone buy from me versus anyone else? And when you recognize that your personal brand really comes down to simplify it, is how do you make others feel?
Mm-hmm.
What is that relationship that they can gain from you like that? In 3 seconds, in 7 seconds. I'm not talking about people in your family and friends that really know you, but showing up authentically on social and being yourself when people are like, oh my gosh, that's my kind of girl. Holy shit, she swears like me. She's freaking bold. Or she's the person, she shows up like I would love to show up and not give a shit about what other people think. So it's that feeling. The personal brand is really that feeling of somebody connecting with the other person.
I love that. You've made that very simple. See, I knew. I had a feeling you were going to simplify that for us. Okay, so you started recognizing these things way before, like you said, Instagram, any of that. And you're building this brand that people identified and said, that's Renee. I feel this when I buy from Renee, when I learn from Renee. Is that where you were at that time?
Well, it started out, like I said, with the jewelry. So I was Sparkle Queen. So women were people that I didn't even know, once they started following me, they would send me messages with pictures, memes of, a sparkly refrigerator, a sparkly a car.
Yeah.
They just knew that I was a Sparkle Queen.
Sparkly person.
And then, like I said, that led to the whole badass, because as I built that business, I always had this sense of helping other women unleash their inner badass, right? So I would talk about them being that badass queen. So when I was building a coaching business and digital products
And a community. You built a
yes.
community.
And when I was
Yes.
doing that outside of my jewelry business, I knew I had to make that a little bit different. And that's why I coined Badass Queen. Because again, I want women to have that feel of, we all have that inner badass, right? So I want women to unleash that and become the person that they were meant to be in whatever aspect that looks like for them.
And you really focus on that 40 plus crowd.
Yeah.
And so why that age group? I'm curious. What is it about 40 plus?
You know, as I work with my clients and my team, you really have to identify who your audience is and what your niche is, right? And when I talk about creating your ideal avatar, we all heard that, and who's your ideal client, your ideal avatar.
What do they think? What do they feel? What do they want?
You really need to know exactly who the hell that is. Like, I know I am speaking to one person, right? I know exactly who she is, how old she is, what her pain points are, what her struggles are, what keeps her up at night. So when I'm creating content or I am creating digital products, whatever that is, I am helping that one woman. Granted, it's going to be for a larger audience, but if I speak to that one woman, somebody who's, a little over 40, I'm 56. So, a lot of the younger women, 20s, they grew up in digital. Women over 40 didn't necessarily grow up in digital. And I'm here to show them, like, I just did a personal branding experience, a live in-person event, and showing women who don't know how to create reels, showing them how to gain confidence by showing up authentically for themselves online. So my audience is definitely over 40. But I do get women that are younger, and I get women that are, much older.
Yeah. Well, I'm your audience, by the way. So I thank you. Thank you for focusing on us. I love it. And, you're right. And I talk to friends, and I'm always interested in a conversation of like, yeah, we just didn't grow up in a time, Rainey, where we were making reels and we were putting everything out there. And, there's this hesitancy, I think, in some spaces. So what a great feature of your community and becoming this badass queen to teach them how to do some of these small components that can really enlighten them. And so tell me a little bit more about this, because I love this badass queen, vibe that you give, and you help us see what's inside of us. So it's an identity, it's a society, it's a program, it's something you're coaching. What is that identity like for them? Tell me about the woman who steps in to meet you and who wants to be a badass queen. She thinks she knows what it is. Where is she at that moment in her life? And where do you help her get to?
Yeah, so everyone comes to me in different parts of their journey. But when I always share and I help them let go of likability, let it go. Let go of the vanity metrics. And that one specific is, really stings a lot, because in this digital age, we are shown that you went viral. Everyone's looking to go viral, and, a million views. How many people looked at my reel? How many people saw my post? All of that. And we tend to then think that that's the standard of success, or that has meaning, that tells me if I'm successful or not.
That value is that we associate it as a value, right?
We put so much into it, when in all actuality, if you walk into a room and 30 people turned around and went, "Oh, there's Rainey," and they watch you, you're going to be like, "Whew, I am.
Yeah, well, I've got it going on.
And you are now strutting. So that is a big part of stepping into becoming that badass queen, is letting go of the likability. Society, we know, rewards women for being agreeable as they age. And instead, I'm like, bullshit. I choose to be visible. Unapologetically, show up authentically, like me or not. Right. And I share that with my clients and help them get to the point where they shed those expectations. They stop being agreeable just to be agreeable, and they choose the lane that their path they choose, or not even choose, but I help them see the path that they were meant to go on and understand that not everyone is meant to be on the path with you. Not everyone is meant to like you. If, I always say, and we always hear, I like, if I'm not your cup of tea, that's okay. I love coffee. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're going to find your people.
I like that.
Right? We're going to find our people. But
I'm a coffee lover too. I'm going to steal that line, Renee.
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
I like that. I remember taking a trip with my aunt once, and she is 75-ish. And I remember maybe she was in her early 70s then, and she's wonderful. She's active and vibrant. But she said this to me about 6-7 years ago. She goes, "You just wait." She goes, "As you get older, you will become invisible." And she said, "I was young and cute, just like you back in the day. And I got all the attention. I can get whatever I want. I can do what I was doing." And she goes, "And then slowly I walk up to a hostess inn. They look around me. I go shopping. They X like because it was important to her at most every age and still is, but she kept drilling that. And it sounded depressing, to be quite honest with you. I thought, well, no, come on, you relax. And so when I read about you, Renee, one of the things that resonated was that line, because you said, you don't have to become invisible. You shouldn't be invisible. That is something that you accept, essentially, and you show people how to do it differently. And she's of a different age where she just thinks, nope, that's going to happen anyway. And I love how you work to make sure that doesn't happen for us and help us really be visible and contribute around to our environment. That's really incredible. So that story really resonates for me. What are you finding with your women that you're working with is the number one blocker? Like if you see it over and over and over, like when you said, hey, they don't want to maybe get out online, the likability piece, what is it? Because it's not just, I want to be liked. Like, where do you think it stems from based on that age bracket?
It's fear. It's fear of, a lot of it is fear of what other people are going to think, right? Confidence comes from clarity. So I don't push confidence. I teach clarity. When women know why they're showing up, then fear will lose its grip. So when we, again, let go of the fear of what other people are going to believe, like a lot of times when we go like, how can I show up? Like, how can I go on social media? What are other people going to think when all of a sudden I show up, or I'm doing this, or I'm saying,
who does she think she is?
Who does she think she is? When I launched my Unapologetically Badass podcast, I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to listen.
Yeah, we all thought the same thing.
Right?
Yes.
We're like, well, I know that I have a voice. I know that I know my intent. I know that I want to help other women grow, show up authentically, share their journey, share their passion, share the shit that we go through in our lives. Because that's really the reason why I have that podcast, because we don't show up all of a sudden and we're successful. You have to go through a lot of crap in order to get through life, right? No, none of us comes out unscathed. And we also know that women do business with women that they like, know, and trust. We hear that all the time. And stories matter. So I help women figure out their story without sharing, a lot of personal stuff online. I don't believe in like dumping that. But when we share authentically some of the shit that we go on, people are like, oh, I'm intrigued. Like this person really is real. So that if you are then selling products or you're selling a program, you're not selling. People are like, oh, I trust this woman, and I like her story. I think she's, cool, whatever it is. But that fear of what other people are going to think really holds people back so much. And I'm like, no, like you don't need permission. You don't lack ability. You maybe lack mirrors that, don't show you how powerful you are.
Hey, working women, have you ever dreamed of starting a podcast but don't have enough time? I have been there. App chaos, endless Googling, tech rabbit holes, content grind, hours wasted, believe me, and not an episode live. That's why I am gifting you my free training, your complete blueprint to turn episode 1 into 30 days of AI-powered content. No overload, 2K of value inside. So go check it out. There's everything you need for week 1 launch and beyond. Visit workingwomenmentor.com/free training to claim yours now.
Well, speaking of mirrors, let's talk about billboards. You, forget the mirror, you featuring on the face of NASDAQ. I mean, wow. I love that photo of you standing there in the middle of Times Square. I mean, how incredible. What did this tell us about this? How did you achieve it? What a big accomplishment.
It was. And it still is so cool. It's so funny because literally before this, I was just working on a reel showing that again, because it was one of the coolest moments, right? But it wasn't necessarily just about the billboard. So I had received the honor of being named Top Empowerment Coach of the Year by the IAOTP. It's the International Association of Top Professionals. And when I received that honor, I was like, what? Like, this is, oh my gosh. So again, that whole, like, I'm just, not say just, I keep on saying I'm going to eliminate that from our vocabulary, and I don't want other women to do that. But when we know that we're entrepreneurs building a business, right? We know that we're helping others. But when somebody else recognizes you for it, it's that, wow,
the wow moment,
but it really wasn't about the billboard. It was beautiful that, number one, I got to share that experience with my oldest daughter. She has been such a cheerleader of mine for, throughout my journey.
That's so special.
And it really was. And it was proof to her and to other women that women don't expire. We expand. And it was a true watch me moment for myself and for others. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's why it meant so much, because if I can show one woman that no matter where you are in your journey, you got this, no matter what age.
And you showed your daughter and amongst your peers too. I mean, to be recognized in that incredible association, right? And nominated and be accepted in your new community of coaching and all that you've done. I mean, that's just really an incredible accomplishment. And so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And so part of being in that community and coaching and mentoring, I know that you've had to have enjoyed and benefited from a mentor in your life. Can you think of someone special? I know there's probably many, but someone special that you want to share a moment with us?
One mentor told me to stop asking for permission to be powerful. And really, that shifted everything. That's how I priced myself.
That's how you teach.
Right?
Yeah.
How I showed up, how I stopped waiting to be chosen. And that's the big thing, too. A lot of people come to me and they're nervous about pricing their programs or pricing their digital products. And I'm like, you know your worth. Right? I'm not going to discount my worth. I know what I bring to the table. If it's too much for you, then maybe my program's not the right fit for you. But I also did price my programs knowing and recognizing where I was. And I remember being that early entrepreneur, divorced, not really having the money to invest in myself, but knew that I had to. So when I stopped asking permission, and that's why I teach that over and over again in every one of my programs.
And thank goodness you learned it early enough to recognize your own value. And I hear that often from folks who have programs or a business or a product even. My goodness, it's finding that value sweet spot, knowing both what you're worth and knowing also what you're giving and how it can help transform and what that value is. And on the other side of it, there's so much. And if you kind of get out the way of it and focus on that transformation piece, I think is where people see the most benefit for it. So that's such great advice. Do you find yourself being more of, well, let me ask you this. Because you're a coach, how do you see mentorship differently from you being a coach and actually in your coaching program? Do you see a difference between those two, or do you find they have a lot of similarity?
Well, mentorship showed me that confidence isn't personality, it's proximity. And you become bolder when you're around women who normalize success. So the proximity piece with mentorship and confidence is really important, because the 5 people you're around, that's who you become. If you're around somebody who is doubting everything you do, that's not the person that you want to spend the most time with, right? So it develops over time, but mentoring others to build that confidence is through proximity. And that's why I have, community focus with this.
Can you think of what mentorship looked like to you over the years? How has it evolved from when you were starting out in your early 20s and to today? I mean, now you're the one providing so much mentorship to others, right? But I mean, not all of us had even a formal mentor at an early age. I mean, I did not. And so what did it look like in your 20s versus what you think of it today, Renee?
Yeah, there's tidbits, right? Like you said, in my 20s, I was in corporate world, and I'll never forget there was this vice president of a company. I won't name the company that I was with, but I remember I was new for traveling for business. And again, this was when I was, oh my gosh, like I made it. I have a nameplate. I am traveling for work. Like I'm important. This is so cool.
How
right?
important.
Yeah. And she said one thing that stuck with me my whole life and my whole journey, whether I worked for somebody or as an entrepreneur. And she said whenever she travels for work, she will never stay at a place that is less than her quality of everyday life. And so when she travels with that, I will never go and stay wherever I, less than in order to just get there. And that always stood with me because traveling for pleasure and with my children, my family, and wherever I took them, I always felt that if I can't afford to go to whatever place and stay at the place that
the level that I'm
used to, I'm not going. Just not going to do it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That is good advice. Actually, that's really great advice for women of any age right now to hear and to remember.
I'm not going to a Motel 6 in order to go.
No.
In order to go fly to wherever. No. And so the mentorship has changed because that was things that I needed to hear, but it really helped me develop this expectation of what I want my life to look like.
Yeah,
right?
Some baseline, some boundary around how you wanted to live.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking of some of your clients, and are they also open to mentorship? Do you encourage them? Do you find that they are like actively reaching out to others who may know more in a field? That's a hard thing for people to do too. So to get in front of the camera, to put yourself out there, but also to like reach out. Hey, I'm about to publish a book. Could I just get a little bit of your time? You're an expert on this and I'd love to be mentored by you. Like things like that. Are you finding women doing that right now?
I am. I find that it's still a struggle though, because as women, and I don't want to speak so broadly, but we have trouble asking for help.
100%.
Right? And
for anything
yes. in our lives.
Yes.
So I try to normalize it because the rising tide lifts all boats, right? We know that we can all help each other. And it's funny because when I challenge them to ask for help or assistance or guidance, they come back and like, oh my gosh, she was like, absolutely, I'd be more than happy to. And
they're shocked. They're shocked it worked.
But it's so funny because if you ask anyone, hey, are you willing to help someone on this particular subject? Everyone says yes.
You're
Everyone
right.
does.
People actually like to help.
Yes.
It's even like in sales, I find it's sort of like, even like leaving a review or just some small things, like people actually want to help you. Like there's so much good in people. And sometimes we just don't know how. And we also don't know how it'll impact someone.
Yeah.
And when the other person understands that, I mean, I will go over the moon to help. Right. And, that's interesting. That's funny. They're surprised.
They're surprised, but it's like, you never know until you ask.
You don't. I find through a lot of conversations that I've had, it's either they do or they don't. It's not a like, oh, every now and then I'll reach out if I see someone that's really cool. It's either like, oh, no, I'm not. Nope, I don't want to bother them. I know they're busy, that kind of thing. And so I'm always interested to see what side of the coin you're seeing women on in your space.
You know what? It's a hit or miss. Some people are getting more and more confident. Some are not. We just don't.
So, well, and confidence, because let me touch on this. you talked earlier about having a bucket fund, right? You want women to just feel empowered by having that, having options in life, having independence. Talk to me about that, because when someone's listening to that, they might think, is that just like, like a little cushion to have on my own? Or what is that exactly?
I want women. So I came from divorce. And when I was divorced, my ex didn't think I could tie my shoes without him. So I never want anyone to feel like, oh shit, I don't have options. So that fuck it fund could be anything. It could be, fuck it, I want to go to the spa this month. Or it could be, fuck it, I want to retire at 55. Whatever that fuck it fund is looks different for everyone. But I love helping women figure out their multiple streams of income. That's huge, because no matter if they work a full-time job or they're an entrepreneur, if they only have one stream of income, anything can happen. And I want women to have that empowerment and have the options in life, because we know money doesn't make us happy. It simply gives us options. And I want women to have the options of doing what they want, when they want, how they want. I'm not saying, anything negative about men at all with that fuck it fund, because a lot of women rely on their spouse or their significant other. But I've always tried to teach, my girls to stand up, have their own financial freedom outside of that relationship. That's wonderful to have that, but having something else for themselves. So yeah, building the fuck it fund, multiple streams of income. I mean, that is my jam. I love it.
Okay, let's jam on the multiple streams of income, because you make it sound so easy, Renee. You're like, oh,
I know.
not just one.
I know.
Not just one badass queen. I need you to have 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I don't just need you to do one thing. So walk me through that. Like, you meet with someone, and what does the process look like to start identifying in my mind that, oh, okay, I could do B and C, and like someone listening to you, they're thinking, what? I can barely do my A now.
I know.
You want me to do B, C, and D? Talk to me.
And if they go on my website, they're going to be like, what is this girl? She is,
what is she?
How many
too much
does
energy
this woman have, right? But yes. So, but it starts with one thing, right? So I don't want women to go like, okay, I'm going to show up and I'm going to have 10 things that I am doing in 10, pieces of the pie.
Right.
You have to start off with your personal brand. Because when you have a powerful personal brand, when people resonate with your story, with who you are, you can then add different things. So creating that personal brand also, besides, how you make other people feel, but what lights you up, right? Like, what is that one thing that you are so passionate about? And I pause there for a second, because it's going to look different for everyone. Some women are passionate about selling this. Oh my God, this is the best tumbler ever, right? So if you love to sell product, okay, what kinds of products are you passionate about? And that's going to be probably related to a category, right? About, like I said before, I'm not a health and wellness guru. I just know I don't want to wrinkle like a prune. And I want to be around for my kids. I want to be able to play pickleball. I want to be able to be around for my grandkids, So
got a lot of life ahead of you.
Got a lot of life, right? So I help women figure out what their passion is. Oftentimes they don't know. So it's, it's a lot of those questions and a lot of like peeling the onion back, right? And figuring out what else they could share. Most of us have life experience, right? And this is something that I'm really excited about with AI. A lot of us know and believe, and we hear and we understand that industries are changing. AI is going to be taking over a lot of jobs. And I look at that as an opportunity, because most opportunities are going to be of contractual positions. They're going to be part-time maybe. And the people that are going to win are the ones that have a strong personal brand. Resumes are becoming less important. There still will be, but most employers go on somebody's social media profile And
Oh,
so
yeah.
if they're looking at potentially multiple people, they're going to go, who has maybe a better presence? Doesn't necessarily mean more followers, but who is showing up and who is sharing authentically. So if you have something that you love to talk about, right? That no matter what, somebody won't pay you. Let's say they don't pay you, but you can talk about it because you're so passionate about it. That's something that you can then monetize. You can create guides. You can create digital products. You can create books. There's so many things. You can create training programs, anything on that. And most women are like, well, why would they want to hear from me? Because you speak differently than somebody else does, right? Why would somebody come to me about personal branding when there's 8 million other people that talk about personal branding and teach it?
Because you resonate.
Right.
You resonate with your, yes. Mm-hmm.
I say it different. I act different. I am different, right? So that authentic lane is what's going to differentiate them in the job market or with an entrepreneurial leg. So we start from there and then really dive into what else can they do. And then once you do that, and my coaching, it's not a one and done, right? I want to help women identify this. And all of this can take time. And then once they identify this and then they launch this and then they gain some traction, then it's like, okay, how do I share that? How do I show up authentically? What do I do on social media? Like all of these things without sounding salesy. So all of that is learned. And then once you have those things established and you have systems behind it, and we talk about that, then it's like, okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? And that's how we layer it so that you have multiple legs and multiple streams. And it just then becomes like, oh, this is okay. Now that's how I am. And I'm like, now I get to do this and I'm going to do this. And yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, just listening to you, I can hear you working with a client, right? And what is that like for you when you see them open their eyes to that brand that you just uncovered for them, right? And then they're like, oh, well, I like the products. And then they start this product company, right? Do you see that bulb just start shining and shining brighter after the first discovery? I can't imagine. That must be so exciting for you because I bet as soon as they see that turn on, it's like, okay, what's next? Like, are they ready to just move to the next layer, the next source of income, Renee?
You know, I can relate it to being a mom. That's how I relate it because it's like my kids growing up. They have these moments in their childhood and their teens, these wins, and you're celebrating the wins and you're feeling it. And that's what it is with clients. It's like we celebrate those wins. And it's like, oh, when they recognize and like, wow, this worked. And it's like, yes. And I get so much I think you can kind of feel it. My cup fills up when women see themselves evolve into the path and the passion and where they were meant to be. It's such an incredible feeling.
Renee, I love it. Well, because I can feel your energy. So I know that you're feeding off of it. I'm curious, what would you say to the woman listening who thinks it's too late? It's too late. I'm tired. I don't know. Not me, Renee. What would you say to her?
Yeah. I mean, you're not too late, right? You're loaded. Wisdom is an asset, right? It's never too late. Excuses will hold you back for sure. But if you want something different, you can go out there and do it. I am 56. Like I said, last year when I was like, I'm going to create a podcast. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it. And poof, I did it. Now I help others and I'll teach them. I just created a theme song recently. So now
I love that. Yes.
I have an anthem. So I have Watch Me Rise song available on Spotify and Apple and, a ton.
Did you use Suno? Did you use Suno app?
No.
Oh, okay. I was curious.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So you created your theme song. That's so
doing
fun.
that, writing books. I have another book that's launching this month.
You have to tell me about the book. But
oh yeah. So that's the thing.
You have to go
late. It's,
right.
If you have a desire, if you have a desire to do something, I mean, be like Nike, just do it.
Just do it. That's what we'll say. Okay, we cannot let you go until you tell us about this new book. You are already a bestseller on Amazon, and you were about to drop your third book. So tell us all about it, Renee. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. So it was, again, when I started my journey, I used to write 2 words on Post-it notes, and I put it all over my office. I put it in my car. I put it on my refrigerator. I put it in my bathroom, anywhere that I can look at it. And the 2 words were, watch me. You don't think I can? Watch me. You don't think I can succeed? Watch me. So that is the book that I am launching on Amazon this month. And it's Watch Me. It's a business philosophy that will help women gain that motivation and the confidence and in order for them to build their business. So we love sharing that. The word watch is withdraw from explanation. A is act before approval. T is take up space publicly. C is commit without consensus. And H is to hold the vision when no one else does. And if you have Watch Me, you will rise to the top.
The framework we can all live by. I absolutely love it. And we have to give your podcast a plug. So fun. We'll, of course, have the link in this episode so everyone can go and listen and support your show. But I love that you said, I had no idea if anyone was going to listen, but I just said, what the hey, I'm starting it anyway. Let's do this. And what's been your favorite moment in podcasting? Like, what do you love about it? I'm curious.
The women that I get to meet and have conversations with, right? Like we would never have met other than, podcasts. We have such short attention spans with social media. But what I love about podcasts is that long form relationship building. And you really do get a sense of who somebody is and their goal. I just love meeting women. I love hearing their stories. I love understanding, their aspect and their journey. And I just had somebody on today, a show coming out that I just learned so much. And I could do that. And I'm like, oh, now if I'm being monetized, that's even better. Because it's like, when you talk about what can you do all the time for free? Yeah. I love learning about other women, right? But we talk about being seen and taking up space publicly, right? The leverage that you get from these relationships is just so much. Podcasting has been great. I've loved every minute. I love meeting such incredible, incredible women.
Kudos to you. Kudos to you. Renee, how can everyone find you and support you?
Oh, thank you. So they can go to Renee Carbone Fleming on any of the social media. That is my website. It'll link you to badassqueen.co. My podcast is Unapologetically Badass. Everything's on my website, all my social media, my blogs. You can be in my universe. Come follow me, join me.
Come and hang out with the badass. Okay. I have to ask you this though, I keep saying that before I leave you, I'm like, I've got so much for you. When you think of mentorship, share one last moment with us, a mentor moment that we are going to remember you by from this episode.
I want listeners to remember that you don't need more time. You just need a decision.
That's simple, easy. You don't need. I have a sign by my desk. I look at it every morning and it says, "You'll never get today back." Oh. And it's just, I think I look up sometimes and I'm like, "You'll never get today back." Like, it's just that gentle reminder for me of time. Do it now. Do it. I want to share one thing that is such a game changer. And every time I talk about it and share it, people are like, "Oh, this is fantastic." And once they implement it, it's a freaking game changer. So I have a miracle morning, and I won't go into the whole miracle morning, but there's one aspect also that's part of my miracle morning that I challenge everyone to do is to write down. We always talk about vision boards and manifesting and all of that good stuff. And I love that. Write down your goals of, where you want to be, say 6 months from now. And
visualize every aspect. And when I say write down your goals, I'm not talking just about like finances, but yes, include like how much money you're making, how you get to spend your time, where are you traveling, what are you doing, and like really sit in it and think about it and feel it and see it and smell. If you're at the beach, like smell it, like know all of this. And then once you do that, I want you to get your voice memo app open on your phone. And I want you to record yourself as if you've already achieved it. So as if you're living that future life self 6 months
I love
now.
that.
And when you record your future self and go, this is, I get to do this and I'm living like this and I'm doing this. And you play that every single morning before you get out of bed or part of your miracle morning, that will light you up faster than anything else, because we all have that ish part of our life or day or moment where you're like, especially as entrepreneurs, where we're going, what the f am I doing? Right. I gotta be, this is it. I quit. I'm done. I'm out. Right. But when you listen to your future self, you're like, oh my God, I am a freaking badass. Like it totally keeps you tied to your why.
Oh, I love this.
So I had to share that one.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I am going to record mine, because you know what's fun about that is like, I'm not a great journaler, for example. Just that journaling is like, okay, I don't know. I do other things, but that particular piece and like your mantra, your positive things you're thinking of. But when you hear it, and you can just play your own voice. Like you don't have to remember the words. You don't have to go look at a book or a journal. It's like, this is it. I just recorded it. I'm going to replay. That's brilliant. I love that. You should make that another source of your income. That's a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
License it. Do something with it.
Well, if anyone needs any motivation, I also trained and created GPTs that speak like me.
Oh.
So if they want, I tell my kids that I am now eternalized.
I love it. I'm working on one of those too. That's so fun. I think that's such a huge lever right now.
Yeah,
we could talk all day about that.
I know. I could.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Renee, you've been amazing. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your story today.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Hey, wait, before you go, I have one ask. Would you please leave us a review? Tapping on those stars on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you're listening to this will really help us. It'll spread the word and your voice and your impact as well, because every episode we are giving mentor moments. And I hope you can continue this conversation with us at workingwomenmentor.com. To apply to be a guest, find show notes and episode details. And if you've ever wanted to start a podcast, we've got the perfect course for you. Follow us on Instagram at Working Women Mentor and DM us the word mentor, and I'll send you over our free guide on mentorship so you can incorporate it into your life. Thanks so much for joining us. And until then, cheers until the next episode.